The WNBA just announced their 2025 schedule, and you guys, the teams are already getting messy, the drama has already begun, and I am loving all of it.
Remember how the WNBA schedule releases used to be just a list of dates and teams? Now that the 2025 lineup has been announced, it's like we've entered a completely different universe. It's not just games, it's pure drama, with teams bashing each other and fans giddy with anticipation. But while everyone is busy getting started, here's the real kicker. Twitter feuds with 5 games versus Chicago coming up. Indiana is just letting their game speak for itself. You know it's going to get serious on the floor. We're not just watching basketball anymore. We're witnessing history being made.
I'm all for it. We have talked about so many times during last WNBA season how I feel like the WNBA missed the mark so many times when it came to social media, when it came to marketing, when it came to capitalizing on certain players, on certain matchups, and it seems like they might have heard us because some of these teams did such a good job, and the way that the schedule is already laid out, like there's a lot of good things about what's happening here. So let's go over it. Firstly, I want to look at the actual schedule. So on night 1, we have the Atlanta Dream and the Washington Mystics, the Minnesota Lynx versus the Dallas Wings. Now, the hype there is that we have Nafisa Collier, one of the best players in the league, going up against likely a Paige Beckers, who will be on the Dallas Wings with Erike Ogunbowale. So those are 3 players that I feel like a lot of people have an appetite for. That should be a highly anticipated game. And then the 7 p.m. slot, we have the Los Angeles Sparks versus the Golden State Valkyries, which the Golden State Valkyries will have their expansion draft on this Friday.
Since both teams broke viewership records last season, you can be sure that this one will be incredible. The WNBA doesn't want to miss a beat when it comes to marketing, and this time they've brought the drama by scheduling the Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky game as one of the early games.
This Sunday's game between Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever and Angel Reese's Chicago Sky is expected to break records. Ticket prices to see the rivals play are the most expensive for a WNBA game ever, according to TickPick. The cheapest seat to see the game cost around $250, with the most expensive ticket on sale for more than $9,000. The rematch comes on the heels of the Reese-Clark rematch last Sunday, which was the most watched WNBA game in 23 years.
This is going to blow your mind, so hold on. This season, Indiana and Chicago will play each other 5 times. Although their first meeting was fierce, the WNBA schedulers just turned it up to 11.
Which is more than they are playing any other team. The most that they will play any other team is 4 times during the season.
Remember how every Indiana game felt like the playoffs last season? The energy and intensity had the fans going crazy. Now imagine that 5 times over. It's as if the league noticed all that excitement and decided to make this a full-length saga. They're not just setting up games, they're lighting a fuse. With a new coach and the same mindset, Indiana is determined to win this season and is growing stronger every day. Caitlin Clark has been burning the league like it's her playground, so don't sleep on her despite your insatiable desire. You're probably wondering how Indiana could level up, but believe me, they're going to demonstrate to the entire world just how.
Especially, we will see what pieces they decide to keep, what pieces they decide to trade for, who they decide to draft. Like, I think the Indiana Fever are going to be really good. I'm not sure if I can say the same for the Chicago Sky. It seems like their organization in general is in kind of a messy place right now.
In particular, we'll see what they decide to keep, what they decide to trade for, and who they choose to pick. In my opinion, the Indiana AA will be excellent. I'm not sure if I can say the same for the Chicago Sky, as it appears that their organization as a whole is currently in a somewhat disorganized state.
So I just feel like this could be a situation where the Indiana Fever wins 5 out of 5 games.
Unfortunately, she is correct. The Chicago Sky don't appear to be very attractive at the moment. The fallout has been really angelic, and Teresa Weatherspoon is out as coach. Although the sky isn't falling, it appears to be overcast and Reese isn't happy, and there are rumors that she might not even stay.
I think that it's fantastic that the WNBA leaned into this kind of manufactured rivalry between these 2 players, whether they like each other or not. They say that everything is fine, but I feel like, the media has hyped it up. Fans like to see it.
However, the tides may be turning. The Chicago Sky have hired Tyler Walsh as their new coach, and hopefully he will be the spark that ignites the real story. However, these next 5 games are more than just games. There are 5 chances for this rivalry to either blow up like a dud fireworks or explode into something legendary. Every game will be watched closely. People claim that there is no rivalry. However, let's be honest, supporters and analysts of other teams, everyone is watching to see if the excitement around this showdown is real.
Is currently sitting, the get-in price, so like the lowest price, is $271. You guys, that is more expensive than 29 out of 30 NBA home openers this year. Only the Celtics had a higher price value than this game.
Whether these two players like each other or not, I think it's great that the WNBA has capitalized on this manufactured rivalry. They claim that everything is good, but I think the media has blown it up and fans want to see it.
They did a fantastic job by putting these two once again on opening night, and the numbers here, the numbers don't lie. We see how expensive tickets are. I feel like that's going to be a box office game.
Wait, it gets even more bizarre. If you want to know how excited fans are about this matchup, tickets for one of these Indiana versus Chicago games start at $271. Take a moment to process that.
However, I do think that the true rivalry here is the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun.
It's not just about watching basketball anymore. It's about being a part of something bigger that's transforming the entire landscape of women's sports. We're talking about the WNBA here outpricing the NBA. Can you believe it? People are investing in a piece of history rather than just purchasing tickets. They say, I need to be there. I need to see this with my own eyes.
And they essentially stole the Suns' coach. Like, Stephanie White used to be the coach of the Connecticut Sun. Now she's with the Indiana Fever.
But wait, because while everyone is concentrating on this drama between Indiana and Chicago, there is another rivalry that is developing that could steal the show. It is unexpected and set to drastically alter things. If you thought that Indiana versus Chicago would be the season's biggest story, wait until you see what happens next.
I think that is a better storyline. I think, Dejanay Carrington is the one who is actually guarding Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark don't guard each other, so it's hard to put them in that same category. I think that is the true rivalry.
Yes, that's correct. Everyone is discussing Indiana versus Chicago, but they aren't paying attention to the actual fireworks. Recall Indiana and Connecticut's playoff clash from the previous season, which was more than just a basketball game. It was a personal one, and it's going to get much more dramatic. You think you know drama, you haven't seen anything yet. So let's go back to the playoff matchup between Indiana and Connecticut from last season. It wasn't just about winning or losing, it was also about pride and establishing who was the best in the WNBA. The tension was so intense that you could cut it with a knife. Indiana defeated Connecticut in the playoffs, but that was only the start. Now, Indiana has a secret weapon.
Those are 3 players that I feel like a lot of people have an appetite for. That should be a highly anticipated game.
That's precisely what took place. Indiana pursued Connecticut's former coach Stephanie White, and guess what? She has intimate knowledge of the plays, their advantages and disadvantages. Connecticut must be furious to see their former coach join the opposing team, but this is where things get very intriguing. It's like Indiana has unlocked a cheat code for the upcoming season. D. Carrington against Clark, Caitlin the boyfriend drama is the matchup that has us all riveted to our TVs. Forget the fake drama. This is the real thing. When Carrington and Clark square up, it will be like witnessing 2 titans clash, since Carrington has always been a pain in Clark's side and is determined to show that she can dominate anyone.
We don't even know yet what players are going to be on that team, but this is already, I can see what the WNBA is trying to do here. They're trying to create this mini in-state rivalry between the Los Angeles Sparks and the Golden State Valkyries.
This rivalry is full of animosity and high stakes, making every game feel like a playoff game. Fans will be on edge, players will give it their all, and the coaches will be outwitting everyone. But don't sleep on one more team set to shake things up. They're hungry and ready to make noise. Connecticut is still furious after losing their coach to Indiana and losing out on the playoffs, and you can bet they're coming for revenge this season. You won't want to miss a second of the WNBA's impending explosion. The WNBA commissioner revealed in the first week that new rivalries are on the horizon, and these aren't just your average matchups. They might even surpass the biggest showdowns. Get ready, because things are about to get wild. First up, The Atlanta Dream will play the Washington Mystics, and it's sure to be an exciting clash. Next, get ready for a high-octane matchup between the Minnesota Lynx and the Dallas Wings. Why the hype? It's all about Napheesa Collier, one of the league's best players, facing the dynamic Paige Beckers, who will join the Wings along with Ori Onowal.
Because these are also two teams, you guys, realistically that probably still won't be great in 2025, but already starting to build that rivalry, kicking them off on the first day. I thought that was great. I thought that was brilliant.
This isn't just a game. It's a clash that you must witness. While everyone is preoccupied with discussing past rivalries, a new squad is in town and prepared to cause a stir. You may be thinking that these teams aren't that good, and you're right. The Golden State Valkyries and LA Sparks may not be contenders in 2025, but the hype is genuine, fans are giddy, and it's all about potential, not just current performance. The WNBA is throwing the Golden State Valkyries straight into the fire with their first game against the LA Sparks. It's like they're trying to create a California clash from day one.
In this video, as you can see, there's a bunch of people at a cookout and they're saying who they invited to the cookout, and it's all of the teams. All the WNBA teams are kind of arriving, and each one has just a different theme. So when they announced the New York Liberty, they had the Tims on. When they talked about the Chicago Sky, there was a cowboy hat with a little pink ribbon, which to me was an ode to Chicago Barbie, Angel Reese.
As previously mentioned, the Valkyries expansion draft is approaching, and the selections they make could make or break their future. They could discover undiscovered gems or even steal a star. Each pick will be essential in forming their dynasty. As for the Sparks, they have struggled, but a fierce rivalry could provide the motivation they require if they emerge victorious against the new players. They are not just a fallen powerhouse, they are the team defending their legacy. This rivalry could be enormous or quickly fade away, but it will be exciting to watch.
Here is the point where they are pulling what looks like a little, well, it is a wagon, and it says bandwagon, and there are Fever t-shirts hanging over it.